I am your fearless leader, KJ, along with my amazing, handsome, wise man on the mountain, Los himself. Um,
You forgot sexy.
oh yeah, sexy. Well, I mean, I didn't want to like gloat too much, but since you put it
Oh,
out there,
okay,
why
okay, okay.
not? If you guys are watching this live on the YouTube, I can't talk. If you're watching this live on the YouTube side of things, make sure you
He
guys.
looked at his reflection, was like, "Damn, I'm gorgeous."
Oh, geez, wow, that's a good looking man right there. Make
Uh,
sure you guys check us out on the YouTube side of things. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you're watching us live over there right now. It helps us in the algorithm. And yeah, hit the subscribe button. You guys can get notified whenever we go live, whenever we post new videos on YouTube and on Twitch. Just drop us a follow if you guys are watching us live on Twitch right now. Appreciate you checking us out. Our audio listeners, make sure you guys also leave us a review. It definitely helps us get into the ears of other people, and that's what we want to do. We want to get in everybody's ears. Don't make it weird. You guys know what I mean. Other than
yeah, we
that,
just want to drop a little flavor in your ear.
yeah, there we go. That might be a good sticker right there. Uh, speaking of
It's also a
stickers,
song by EPMD.
exactly. I love that song. Speaking of stickers, also in our show notes below, if you guys are checking us out on audio or YouTube, we have a link to our merch site. You guys can check out t-shirts, hats, mugs, mouse pads, stickers, whatever you want to call it. It's there for you guys. You guys can check out our merch. Los has worked hard, as well as our other designers as well. So represent, show some love to the podcast, guys. All
Oh,
right.
not only that, I'm working on all the the Patreon exclusive gifts. That's where all the laser cutters and the 3D printing and all that stuff comes in.
Oh yeah, true, true,
So
true. Yeah, that
yeah,
is true.
we have to go through.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
We have to go through all the prototypes. So I gotta mail you some stuff.
All right, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I definitely can't wait to check that out. That's going to be something that we're definitely diving into. We want to, for anybody who doesn't know, we have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/JHouze Radio. You guys can support the podcast financially there. You get special benefits, and you guys also get exclusive stuff like merch. Los, just like Los said, he's working on some 3D cutouts and things like that. So we're trying to give you guys we're trying to show the love back to you guys for any of you guys who have supported us over the years, especially if you become a member. We just want to make sure that we show you guys appreciation, just like Miss Lunar Wolf, who is our Patreon producer. If you guys want to join the Patreon, you guys can also submit Q&A questions where we have our Patreon segment on the show, and it's literally in your hands. Whatever you guys want us to talk about on the show, we have a segment just for our Patreon subscribers to give us topics for the show, basically. So check it
Yes,
out.
and one particular Patreon subscriber is making us review the first episode of My Little Pony, and that will be coming soon.
Yeah, actually, that's probably gonna have to be our next video. We're gonna plan on talking about the new Spider-Man film, but we also probably got to make that video also talking about the first episode of My Little Pony, because we lost a bet that I have not sent.
Oh no 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 no! It
Well,
wasn't a
well,
bet.
not a bet. I was supposed to get
You
chocolate bunnies. Yeah, I was supposed to get chocolate bunnies to Kira, and yeah, it didn't happen. So because of that, we have to review My Little Pony. So that's gonna make some interesting content. But you know what? I do it all for you guys. I do it all for you guys. All right, so let's jump into our PWLs. What we've been playing, watching, or listening to lately. Los, I'll let you go first. What's on your PWL?
Playing. I'm listening to a lot of Oscar G, DJ out of Miami.
Oh, okay,
He has
okay.
a show called Made in Miami, only on SoundCloud. Amazing DJ. Been listening to him a lot. Playing, I haven't been playing anything. I've had a lot of things going on in my life. A lot of things.
Okay, I
Um,
feel you.
but watching, I'm watching Strange New Worlds.
Oh yes, yes. That's another show that we got to review soon. But how are you loving that
Yeah,
show, by the
but
way?
we're doing. First season was better than second season. But it's still good. And
Okay.
today's episode has the date of recording, um, July 6th. I still haven't watched yet. I'm dying to watch it. It's Star Trek. It's a really good Star Trek, not like Discovery. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, I think
Star
they.
Trek fans will understand.
I think the producers heard you on that one, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, so, all right, so, and what are you currently playing? Are you playing anything right now?
No, no. I just literally just don't have time right now. There's just so much going on right now. I'm literally still at the same point of no. We talked about the Star Trek game that I've been playing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think we mentioned it last episode.
Yeah, I think last time we spoke, I was like 30 minutes in, and now I'm like 2 hours in. And there's like it's like the last point I've been at.
Oh, okay, okay. So is it like the Star Wars? I mean Star Wars. Sorry, don't mean to disrespect you like that. Is it
Yeah,
the
thank you.
is it the Star Trek fans? Is it the Star Trek fans game? Like, is it meant for you guys? Is it something that you guys are waiting for?
The problem with Star Trek games is the Star Trek audience is so varied
Hmm.
that no one game can be the definitive game. Understand? Star Wars is a very, very, very narrow way of looking things. So you can't have a Star Wars game that's like, oh, this is the game,
Yeah,
like Knights of the Old Republic or whatever.
yeah.
But I kind of think that this game is a really good game um, that a lot of people like, a lot of people are enjoying. I've yet to see a bad review on the game.
Okay,
Everyone just complains about the same one or two bad, things that happen in game, but
okay,
that's more a technical complaint than a storyline complaint or gameplay complaint.
okay.
But it's a good game. I enjoy it, but I don't think it's for everyone because it's done in that Telltale style,
Oh
and I
yeah,
don't know
true.
if certain people are into it. I wasn't into any of the Telltale games initially looking at it, but I got this because I was like, oh, it's a Star Trek game. I've got to try it.
Yeah.
And now after trying a Telltale style, I might actually go back and purchase a Batman Telltale.
I actually tried the Batman Telltale games, and yeah, like you said, they're not for everybody. It can be slow paced. It really can be. So that's one thing that at first for me was kind of a turn off because it's
Yeah.
extremely slow paced. So you have to be willing to just enjoy a story, almost like reading a book. I think Telltale is like a book version of a video game in a sense, almost like
See,
a graphic novel. You
I
know?
kind of feel it's more like you being a part of the episode as opposed to sitting back and relaxing and enjoying it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of remember those books as a kid where like you had to make decisions. Like if you travel to the right tunnel, turn to page 76. If you
Oh
travel
yeah,
to the
yeah,
left
yeah,
tunnel,
yeah,
go to page 90. So that's kind of how I feel the game is. It feels more like that than or watching it or being part of an episode as opposed to just like a novel.
yeah.
But I
True.
can see why you see novel
Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
completely.
that's pretty cool though. That's definitely pretty cool. So my PWL, what I'm playing is a game called Viewfinder on PS5 right now. It's I was talking to Los about it earlier. It's kind of like if you take Portal and mix it in with a bunch of different puzzle elements, and instead of some kind of weird ray gun in your hand, you have a camera, basically, and it's a bunch of puzzles. I don't really know the story yet because the demo's fairly short, so we don't really get too much story. So you're basically going through these different mazes, these different puzzles, and this actually sounds like a game that's probably made for you because it revolves around a camera. So to solve certain puzzles, you take a picture of anything in your environment, and you take that picture and you place it somewhere on the map to open up space for yourself to walk through or to solve a certain puzzle or so on and so forth. So it literally revolves around pictures. It's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, like when we were talking earlier, you said it's a lot like Portal. I saw a trailer for it and I was like, this is different. But I wasn't really fond of Portal too much.
I love
You know,
Portal. I freaking love Portal. Portal was amazing. Really,
all I know about Portal is there is no cake.
I don't get it. There's no cake. What do you mean?
There is no cake. In Portal 2, you got promised once you succeed that you're gonna get cake, but there is no cake.
Really? I never played Portal
Yeah,
2.
yeah.
Wow, that's actually kind of funny. Um, so yeah, I'm playing through. I'm playing through that. Actually, I finished it. I think it's the demo is only like maybe you could probably beat it in like 20 minutes or something like that, depending on how long you take to solve the puzzles. But yeah, I love it. It's fun. I think it drops sometime this fall, I believe. So that's what I've been playing.
You know
I-
what though? It kind of sounds like one of those games where like a walkthrough on YouTube is going to be super popular because people are going to get stuck often.
yeah, there was actually a few points where I got stuck pretty bad, like pretty bad. Where I think I was stuck in like one spot for like maybe 20 minutes, and I almost kind of gave up. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's overly difficult. It is a challenge, but at least from what I played so far, it's not anything that's gonna like make you rage quit. I guess this depends on how open minded you
Oh,
are.
like I did with that Jedi game.
Oh, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, the one with the redheaded Jedi.
Yeah. Oh you rage quit on that?
Oh, I rage quit on that big time.
Really? I didn't
Big
know.
time.
I thought you were still playing through that. I didn't know you quit that.
No, I rage quit that game, bro. I
Wow.
literally spent 3 weeks trying to get past one little part, and I said, and I was on easy.
Wow.
3 weeks, and I rage quit. I'm like, no, no,
It's like I'm done.
fuck Star Wars. Literally,
He's like, this
I was
is
done.
why I don't like Star Wars. Oh man, yeah, that Star Wars fought like the Star Wars Jedi games are pretty tough. They're like borderline Souls-born games. Honestly, they're very tough games. Even if you do, like you said, put it on an easier difficulty, they still can be tough. So, yeah,
you know
I don't
what?
blame
It just like I don't care about running on walls.
you.
I don't.
Jeez Louise.
You know, the
Los
one
is-
thing I do say,
Oh no, go ahead.
the one thing I do like about Star Wars is, um, they're you can tell the good guys from the bad guys depending on how they treat the droids.
Oh yeah, true. Because some people treat the joys like crap. So
And those are the bad guys.
yeah.
No, seriously, think about it. And people who like the droids and talk to them, those are the good guys.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, I don't know. I gave up on that game. I tried playing it. It was a little difficult. But also it's tough for me to stick with certain games sometimes, man. It's too many games to play, especially this year. Way too many games. All right, so what am I watching? I'm actually I'm in the middle of watching, almost done with this documentary called Barista. It's a barista competition to see who can make the best
The breast. Wonder what's on your mind.
the best cup of coffee. Who can make the best cup of coffee, honestly? And it's all about
You need some milk with that, honey.
yeah, right. It like me coming from somebody who used to work at Starbucks. I was an avid coffee maker, man. I was so passionate about my job. I actually thought about entering the barista competition when I was working at Starbucks. It's
You actually did enter the Starbucks barista competition.
oh well, yeah. We had one within like the company that I did. So actually, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me.
No,
yeah,
I remember that because you were like, all right, I need challenging drinks, and then we would like 6 of us would sit outside and go, how about this? So we go up to you like, it's for a competition,
How about
you know,
this?
and then you would stare at us as we take our first sip.
How do you like it?
Tell me now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was definitely a interesting competition that I did with Starbucks. But the one that they do in this documentary is one that happens globally with multiple different people around the world. And this is something that I wanted to do myself. Never got a chance to do it actually, but yeah, this documentary follows a few baristas, and it talks about their passion. It talks about the love that they have for coffee. How some people look at coffee as just being a thing that you just drink in the morning and you go about your day. But there are some people that are literally passionate about this craft. And that's literally how I felt. Even sometimes to this day, I feel like when I go to Starbucks, I just want to hop behind that counter and just make my drink. And you know what I mean? Because it's something that I was very passionate about, and it's still there. Like I still have that love for coffee. I still have that passion, to just want to make coffee and things like that. And I think this is a great documentary.
Here's the thing, though. When you were working at Starbucks, they actually had a real espresso machine. So it took real talent to pull a shot the right way, the right temp, for how long and everything else.
Yeah.
Now it's a little more push button where you're just kind of like everything tastes the same,
Yeah. Yeah. I want a cappuccino.
mostly the same.
It's already done.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the only thing they're really doing on themselves is froth. Is it frothing the milk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. But the actual pulling of the shot, the machine does that.
Yeah.
And I can understand from a company point of view why they would do that,
Yeah.
but it makes me want to go to like I started not going to Starbucks, and I started going to this little coffee shop that's about 12 minutes away from my house
Okay.
because they have real coffee machines and have real talents, and I'm starting to find out who makes the better coffee, and it's not the guys who work at that one place, only
I,
the girls.
I actually was talking about that earlier, where I feel like I want to start checking out different coffee shops, you know, because don't get me wrong, I love my Starbucks, I really do, but I want to broaden my horizons and try out different coffee shops and try out different styles and things like that, because there's some talented people out there who make some amazing coffee, you know.
Yeah.
And this documentary shows that it's a fun documentary. I think it's fun for me because I used to work in that field, and they talk about certain things. They bring up certain things that I remember, like pulling a shot of espresso literally from the machine to the shot glass. You can immediately tell before you even put that shot in that cup whether or not it's a bad shot or not. And like
Oh,
them
really?
saying that, yeah, I'm like, you can just look at the texture, the color, the body of the shot. Like you can look at a shot and immediately tell, wait, that's a bad shot. I got to recalibrate. You can tell that by just looking at it before you even taste it. And like,
All
and
right. So
that's
let me ask you this question here, okay? Since, as far as I know, you're not going to go work for Starbucks ever again, right? Have you ever
doubt it.
purposely made a shop bad for an asshole customer?
Honestly, no, I haven't, and I'm not just saying that, but just because I'm being put on the spot or anything like that. Like it's I take so much pride in like I took so much pride in my job that even if a customer was being a douchebag, I would still try my best to make the drink properly. Only because that's just I just take pride in what I do. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
did I maybe like let a little bit of coffee fall on the side of the cup just so they can have a messy cup and give it to them on purpose? Maybe. Because there's nothing worse, especially if you're a coffee drinker, than getting a dirty cup. And like, you know how it is, Jules. Or like a
Yeah,
cup that
yeah,
has
yeah.
coffee on the side and you go to grab your cup and you got coffee all over your finger. It's disgusting. So,
Oh, no, 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 no. If I see a cup bad, I'm like, yo, can you double cup that for me?
yeah, yeah,
That's how
exactly.
I get out of it.
Exactly. So yeah, Barista. It is a documentary that is out right now. I believe it's on Pluto TV. You might be able to rent it somewhere. Um, yeah, it's a pretty interesting documentary. Even if you're not into coffee, I still say check it out. It's pretty fun. You know, you get to learn something about a craft that you might not really know about. This came out in 2015, and it's pretty interesting. Check it out, Barista.
Okay.
Um, all right. Let's jump into some. Actually, let's jump into our random fact real quick before we jump into our show topics.
Okay, okay,
Los.
hold on. I gotta pull up mine.
Oh, I can go first if you want.
Okay.
Oh, now you go.
No, no, I'm ready.
Okay.
The idea for the movie The Usual Suspects, right?
Yes.
Great movie. When Bryan Singer actually could direct. The idea for the poster of The Usual Suspects came before the script or the story.
Wow. The poster came before the script or the story.
Yep, that's the image he had in mind before he made the script or the story, and then he made everything around that.
That's pretty interesting. Dang, like that's pretty crazy how you pick that to be the first thing that you do before you even do anything. That's really
No,
interesting.
I could see that. I could see that. I could see why you'd want to do that. For the Here's a good example. Let's say you're like, oh man, I want to make a movie about falling in love, or a couple falling out of love for the sake of argument.
Okay.
And then you can see the movie poster in your head and you're like, yeah, that's what I want it to feel like. And then from that feeling, you can write your story and you can write your script. So yes, I could see why someone could do that. Is it normal? No. But I could see how it could happen that way.
Hey man, some of the most interesting stories come from abnormal ideas. So
Yeah, true.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, interesting fact though. Did not know that. Interesting fact. My random fact comes from my boy Nicolas Cage. Um, his stage name Nicolas Cage, which is not his real name. I actually had to look up his real name. I forgot to do that.
He's
Uh,
a Coppola.
what is it?
He's a Coppola. He's part of Francis Ford Coppola's family.
Yes, yes.
His last name is Coppola.
Coppola. So yeah, Nicolas Cage. That's his stage name. He actually got Cage, the last name, from the comic book hero Luke Cage. Apparently, Nicolas Cage is a huge comic book nerd, and he was a really big fan of Luke Cage. So when he decided to pick his stage name, he wanted to have something that had Cage in it from his favorite comic book hero.
Well, there's two reasons. Reason number one is he did not want his last name to carry him forward.
Yeah.
So his real name is Nicholas Kim Coppola. Thank you, Google. And so he wanted to go by a different name. And that's when he picked, Nicolas Cage based off Luke Cage.
Yeah.
But did you also know his son is named Kal-El?
I think I heard that. I think because when I was watching the documentary about him, I think I did hear that. That's very interesting. That's actually a good name though. Like it's a good strong name, honestly.
Kal-El
has nothing to do. Yeah, you don't think so?
I mean, it's different, but like in Spanish, it'd be a really hard name to pronounce.
Really? How would you say it in Spanish?
Yeah. Because here's the thing, in Spanish, we don't call everybody, like we make every name cute,
You
like
make every name cute.
Carlos is Carlito. Yeah, Carlos is Carlito. Arturo is Arturito. Keith. You'd get a nickname because that's an American name.
Yeah.
Like they might actually call you Chocolate, and just because they say, "Oh, you're dark and sweet." You know what I'm trying to say?
Chocolate.
Like everything. Yeah, yeah. So everything has a certain, an ito or ita in it. So that'd be one of those names where it'd be like, you get a nickname.
Yeah.
They might actually call you Superman. Oh yeah, Superman, Megagi. Superman. Because they know if they know what the name is, they just call you Superman.
Yeah, true. Wow.
It's a weird thing in Latin culture and language.
Yeah.
We do that.
That is very interesting.
Like Puerto Ricans are probably some of the few that actually shorten a name.
Oh, really?
Or they give you a different name. Yeah. Or they give you a different name. Like, Cuisine, Junior, Chino, like everyone knows a Puerto Rican called Junior or Chino. Everybody.
Wow. Secret Invasion. You got to watch Secret Invasion, right?
Yes, I did.
So
I'm enjoying it.
Really? Okay.
I'm enjoying it.
I actually figured you would. Like watching it, I was like, this is definitely a low show right here.
Yeah. Now, is it the greatest Marvel show? No. But it is Marvel's first spy thriller, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It is truly a spy thriller. It has a lot of backstabbing going on. So it kind of feels like the old James Bond movies, and a combination of the old James Bond movies and the Bourne Identity. Like that's the vibe I get out of it.
Same.
And it's good. It's not great, but I kind of think that they need to pick up the pace a little bit, because I think certain threads are stretched out way too long. But it's good.
I'll agree.
What about you?
Well, for me, the first episode was the weakest. It gave me some idea of what we're dealing with here, I guess. But once we got into the second episode, third episode, that's when I feel like for me things started picking up. That's when I started to get a little bit more interested into the story. And I 100% agree with you. I do feel like it needs to pick up a little bit. I feel like it gets to the point where the episode starts off high, and then it goes down really low, and then it waits till like the last 5 minutes to go high again. Then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm ready. Okay, next time on, Secret Invasion, I'm like, wait a second, it was just getting good. Like, I feel like I feel like the pacing at some points can be a little off, and they wait till they start off high and they wait till the very end to get even more interesting, and then you're like, okay, I want more, but you're not giving me enough within a certain time frame that you're giving me here. So like you said, I do agree. I think the pacing is just a little off, and I feel like they need to kind of trim off a little bit of fat here and there, and just give me more of what you're giving me at the beginning and the end of the show, in my opinion.
Star Trek Picard did the same thing, where like they would drag a little bit, and then it would pick up at the end, and then it would just stop, and you're like, no,
Yeah, exactly. That's
get to the point. But I feel like Picard did it really well. For the most part, they did it really well. Okay. Where like it was interesting enough where you didn't feel the time.
Okay.
And then when it ended, you were like, dude, the show started 10 minutes ago. And then you look at the runtime, you're like, oh no, it didn't.
Wow.
That's
a good show. That's a good show. If you watch a show and you're like losing track of time, that's when you know a show is good.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and that was definitely Star Trek Picard. But Picard was also one of those shows that you have to be a Trekkie to watch. You just can't jump into season 3 because there's too many references.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Strange New Worlds, there's a couple of references, and those are references that you can explain in a paragraph.
Yeah.
Like, oh, who's this? Well, these people are, appeared in an old episode of this, and this happened. That's all you need to know, and you move on. Yeah. But Picard, it just is way too much tangled history involved in the series.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Decades.
Yeah. So I have a couple questions for you about Secret Invasion.
Okay.
The conversation that Rhodey and Nick Fury had. What was your feeling about that?
I felt like that for me that was a good moment there, because that's when we get a chance to sit back and really see the history between these two characters. They mentioned a few things about the blip and things like that, and just I feel like that's where we get a chance to have two old guys who've been around for a little bit really sit here and like marinate and think about and talk about everything that they've experienced with each other, with the Avengers and so on and so forth over the past few years. And I think that, and side note, mild spoilers here, guys. I think that was where we feel like their relationship, where I feel like I realized that the relationship has changed by that point. You know what I mean? Rhodey looks at, I want to say, I don't want to say he lost respect for him, but I feel like he doesn't look at Fury the same way he used to look at Fury before. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I feel like Rhodey is at a different point in his life, and I don't know, like that relationship is just different. You know what I mean? It's not what it used to be. Like the trust is not there anymore. You know what I mean? That's what I got from that.
Well, twofold. One, I'm going to respond to what you said. Yes, the relationship is different, but I think Rhodey was looking at him as, you're out of touch, old man.
Yeah.
That to me felt like the tone of the conversation. But what I'm talking about is when he said, people who look like us have to be different.
Oh, yes. You're right. I did like that. I did like that. That brings us back to the Captain America moment, during that TV show. Them touching base on race and on blackness. I did like that part when he said that. Like when he said that, I think I was looking at something and then he said, being people like us, I looked up like, oh wait, here we go. There's something about it when Disney decides to, put whatever it is aside and just allow these black characters to be black. I feel like a lot of times.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. Continue. Then I'll comment.
Because I feel like a lot of times when we get black characters in some of these whitewash shows, they sometimes try to take away their blackness. They don't let them act naturally black, if that makes any sense. And yes. I like the fact that they let two black characters in this show have a conversation about their blackness. It's like, hey, listen, man, I'm black. It's hard for me to get to where I got right now, so don't you dare try to mess this up. You know what I mean? Like, how hard it is for us brothers being in this business. And just hearing that kind of conversation on a Disney Marvel show, it's always enlightening. And I love the fact that they allow that to happen.
Well, I sort of agree and sort of disagree with you on that, and let me explain. In Captain America: Winter Soldier, excuse me, in Falcon and Winter Soldier, I really do felt like that was a black man speaking to America, going, "Hey, this is the reality of what my experience is."
Yeah.
But I felt like that speech between them, I felt like that was more because of the words they used. I didn't feel like it was just a black issue. I felt like it was a minority. Understand?
Okay.
It could have been a black man and a Mexican. It could have been, like a Hindu and a Latino, or a Samoan and a Chinese person. I kind of felt like the way they worded it felt more for everybody. I didn't feel it was race specific.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like their wording was very good, very clever, and very clear. And I felt like that included every minority in America. And I felt like it was just as powerful as it was in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I feel like their wording was more inclusionary than exclusionary, if that makes sense.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
There were parts of that conversation where it was definitely two black men speaking. Like, come on, help a brother out.
Yeah, yeah.
Like where are you coming from? You and I came from the same spot, came from the same problems.
Yeah.
Certain points of it I felt like were very unique to the black community, but most of it I felt like they were speaking to all minorities.
Yeah.
And I thought that was excellent. Like, my favorite part of the whole show, the whole series so far, was that one scene.
Interesting.
Because I felt it was the most powerful.
Yeah. And I hope that we continue to have like powerful scenes like this, honestly. That's why I can't wait, for Captain America to come out. That's going to be an amazing film, by the way.
Let me tell you something. That is one of the few movies I would go on opening day.
Really?
One of the few movies I'd go on opening. You have to look at what that symbolizes, man. That symbolizes so many people's journey through civil rights, that, look, we've made it. We've made it so far that we represent America. You understand what I'm trying to say? And that shows that the struggle, is worth it because we've accomplished something. It talks about, we're here. We haven't gone everywhere, but here we are. Not only that, the Falcon was one of my favorite characters in the comic books, and he was one of my favorite characters in the movies. So for me, that is a movie that I will definitely try to see opening day, because I feel like that is a milestone in not only American history, but movie history. Because can you think of another black superhero that's leading a film? I can't think of one.
Yeah.
Other than Black Panther. But Black Panther takes it from a world point of view as opposed to a strictly American point of view. And that's why, for me, the new Captain America movie, I'll be one of the first ones in line for it. I think that's an amazing movie. And I can't wait to see it. And wait to see what conversation it brings up.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for that either, man. I think I feel like that's gonna be a very impactful film. Honestly, based off some of the stuff that has been leaked that might be talked about in this film, I think this could be very impactful for Marvel.
This is one of the movies I don't look for spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, and I haven't tried to. It's just like kind of came across by accident, and I was just like, oh, well, it's already there, Yeah. But other than that, I'm definitely I don't want to see anything. I'm actually tempted to not even watch the trailer. Like, I want to go into this blind. I feel like something is going to be special about this film. I can feel it, man.
Yes.
I can really feel something's going to be special about this film.
Honestly, I think this is the movie we need to see together. Honestly.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, I know. If it ever gets, I think, isn't it delayed? No, I think that's Blade. I think Blade is delayed.
Blade was delayed, yes.
So hopefully, Captain America is actually on par to come out when it's supposed to come out, because I want to see this. I think this is next year, right? Isn't it next year?
I believe so, yeah. But this is one of the few movies, where I'm like, if there's a delay for a good reason, I'm okay with it because this is one of the. I think this, just like Black Panther, has to be a perfect movie. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
um, because it's going to be under a microscope, which I think is very unfair.
yeah,
But I feel like it's going to be under a microscope, and I think that this movie has to be perfect, just like Black Panther was, the first one.
yeah,
So, uh, I won't mind if they're delaying it for perfection, but either way, I'm still the first one in line. I need to see this movie. I
yeah.
need to see that Captain America.
I agree. Same here, man. Same here. If it is Marvel, if it's delayed, you guys gotta delay it, man. Do what you gotta do. Just get it right. That's all I want. Get it right.
Yeah. See, like Black Panther 2, I felt like it was rushed because it had so many great moments, but I kind of feel like there were parts of it that just let me down, that couldn't let me love the movie.
Yeah, I mean, Black Panther 2 for me, I thought it was a good movie. I still think the first one was probably the best.
Yes. Yes.
It was it was good. I mean, that's really all I can say about it. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't really have much to complain about it. It was a good movie. You know, it was just more Black Panther, but at the same time less Black Panther. You know, if you get what I'm,
Okay.
you know, get what I'm saying.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. Now, going back to Secret Invasion,
Yeah.
the character who dies, I'm trying not to spoil it.
The
What did you think of it?
The character who? Oh, in the last episode. Episode 3.
No, I didn't she die episode 2 at the end? Yeah, she died episode 2 at the end.
The scroll character or the non-scroll?
No,
character?
the human character.
Oh yeah, that was episode 2. Wow, I was surprised. I did not see that coming when that happened. I was just like, they're really cutting deep here in this show, you know, because yeah, it's tough to talk about without spoiling it. But yeah, that was a big surprise for me. Major surprise. That actually leaks into episode 3 a little bit too, which might leak into a few more episodes. What did you think about the character that died at the end of episode 3? Do you think that's a real death? Let's say that, because I don't think it's a real death.
I'm trying to remember who died. Was it a scroll?
Yes, an important scroll, very important scroll, important to the show, shall I say?
Oh crap! Who was it again?
Um, I'm gonna text you.
What was the scene? Can you? Yeah. Text me.
Let me see.
Because I'm like, because so many people die in this show. Like, wow.
I feel like
It's
a lot of
murder fest.
I know this show, man. It's actually pretty brutal for a Marvel show. It's actually pretty brutal. Like some of the deaths.
Oh yes. Oh my god, that death. I was like, no.
Yeah, I was in. Once you guys, whoever hasn't seen it yet, whoever's listening, once you see it, you know what we're talking about. But yeah, I was actually surprised that happened. But then something's telling me it's not real. It like that. It can't be real. I feel like honestly, before that episode ended, I was expecting that person to just come back and be like, "I survived. It wasn't really me," or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm just waiting for that to happen.
I hope that's true, because I feel like that character would add so much to the show. But at the same time, I'm like,
if you gotta go, you gotta go.
Holds no punches.
Yeah,
this show doesn't hold any punches.
It's not. This show is definitely pulling like a Game of Thrones moment where it's like, hey, even the main character can die, so anything goes. And I'm actually liking that. I am liking that because it's throwing me for a loop at times, because usually when you watch shows like this, you're like, all right, I expect this person to do this, I expect that person to do that. When we saw certain deaths in this show, I was like, oh, whoa, okay, that was different. I didn't see that coming. I'm paying attention right now. And then when another death happened, I was like, holy crap, what is going on here? People are just dropping off the face of the earth left and right. So I do like the fact that they're throwing a monkey wrench and trying something different and just saying, hey man, like nobody is safe. Period. And I think that makes for interesting content. It really does.
Yeah. What do you think of the antagonist?
He's growing on me. He's growing on me. At first I wasn't really feeling it. I don't know why. There's just something about, maybe it's the actor that's playing it. I don't know. But
That's kind of what I feel. I feel like the actor doesn't have um, the presence to play a heavy as that. You know?
I think maybe it is the presence. I mean, the only thing that's really carrying him right now at this point is his attitude, which I think his attitude is way bigger than his presence at this point.
Yes. Yes.
And
Perfect way to word that. Perfect way to word that.
yeah, it's Kingsley Ben Adir is playing Gravik in this show for anybody who might not know. So yeah, for context, yeah, Gravik. I really do feel like his personality is carrying everything. Just his presence in general just doesn't feel like big bad. And I'm not saying that he has to have the big muscles and this, that, and the other. It's just something about the way it'll get there. I think. If I feel like it's not totally there by next episode, I'm gonna be a little worried because it's not gonna feel authentic after a while.
There's the 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 Sonya character. I'm loving
Sonya, who's Sonya? Oh yes,
the lady with the shirt. Oh my
yeah.
god, I am loving that character.
I love her character as well because she almost gives me like vibes of the lady from Misery. She's just like, yes, so I'm just gonna kill you and laugh at and smile about it at the same time and just talk about my day while I'm doing it.
Do you know what? Do you know what it makes me feel like? It feels like the lady who played the I'm gonna kill you now, don't you know?
Yeah,
The Last of Us. I kind of feel like that the way Sonya is portrayed is the way the lady from The Last of Us should have portrayed that character.
I 100%. Honestly, I would have rather her be the main antagonist in this show compared to Gravik, or at least it's just more of her. Like I would rather see more of her.
Yes.
You know, because her character is very intriguing, very intriguing. You know, so like when I first when we.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say when I first saw her in the torture room, and I was like, "Oh, who is this little crazy librarian?" And she was just so calm. I'm like, "Oh, I kind of like this character a little bit," you know. And then we didn't really get much after that.
My favorite part of her in that scene was when she does something and she goes, "Well, that settles that."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay."
She's vicious, man. She's vicious. I would not want her making my dinner.
One actor I'm surprised that's in this is Christopher McDonald. That man has been in everything. If you don't know who he is by mentioning his name,
I forgot that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in. What was that name? His character was Shooter McGavin. Happy Gilmore.
Yes.
He was in Happy Gilmore. He was the bad guy in Happy Gilmore. That man is in everything. He's been in Stargate. He's been in Star Wars, supposedly. I have to look up. But he's been in almost everything you could think of as a good guy or a bad guy.
Yeah,
and he plays a lot of senators.
He looks like a senator. He definitely looks like a senator.
Yeah, he plays a lot of senators. He looks like it.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him in here too, playing that particular role. I was like, wow, that seems a little small for him, but okay, he's here. You know, that's what's up. I was very surprised.
He's played big parts and small parts, and I kind of feel like he's like, oh, as long as you're paying me, I mean, I'm okay. I could say I was part of this universe. I could say I was part of that universe. I kind of feel like he's a working actor. He's like, as long as I'm working, I'm happy.
Exactly. Yeah, he just seems like he probably wouldn't want to take a role in this kind of show, but he's here, so that's pretty awesome. It's great to see him. Who is your favorite character in Secret Invasion so far?
Hold on one second. I just want to double check.
Okay.
Honestly, I think it's Sonya.
I think it's Sonya. Yeah.
Amelia Clark's character, I feel like, was underutilized, and I feel like she could have been my favorite, but Sonya, hands down, I prefer her over Samuel Jackson, over Nick Fury in this series.
Yeah, I'm not really. I don't want to say I'm not liking it, but I guess I'm not really liking Nick Fury in this, and so far as much as I thought I would have liked him in this show, because I was really looking forward to Nick Fury getting in here and just tearing it up like across the screen. And not even just like in like a physical matter, just like in general, just like his presence. And this is old man Fury. I mean, Fury is slowing down, and he's just more, just I guess you can say, a shell of his former self in this show so far. You know?
Well, in the comic book, Nick Fury was still dangerous even when he was old.
Yeah.
Um, like he killed one of the Watchers in the comic books.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I just feel like this out of touch Nick Fury isn't the Nick Fury I expected. I expected the Avengers Nick Fury.
Yeah, same here. I was expecting that too. Even if it was slowed down a little bit because of age, I was still expecting Nick Fury, you know, in the show. And we're not really getting that. I mean, we got it in that one scene where one of the guards tried to like escort him out the building, and he like broke his finger in like 5 places or something like that. You know, I think that was the most we've got. But yeah, I expected a little bit more from Nick Fury. We still got a few episodes left. I think we're getting 6 episodes, which sucks. It's a bummer. But yeah, we're only getting 6 episodes for this season of Secret Invasion. But outside of Nick Fury,
but in one way, it's a good way because we know we're halfway through.
Yeah.
So at this point, either it's going to pick up and become amazing, or it's going to stay the same, and we're going to be like, eh.
Yeah, that is true at this point. I mean, and I feel like honestly, for the next few episodes, we're probably going to wait until the season is over before we do our final review of the entire series, just to let everything marinate instead of going episode by episode, because it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah. Where does this rank for you as far as the Marvel TV series?
Oof. Just going off the top of my head, because it's tough to think about everything at this point. I would say I give it top 5. I think it would. I think Secret Invasion deserves a top 5 out of all the Marvel TV shows. It's something very different compared to what we're used to, and we're getting, like you said, that old school James Bond, Bourne Identity vibes, which is something that's very different for Marvel in general right now. We don't get a lot of that. So yeah, I say I give it top 5, honestly.
I'm at 5 right now.
You're
in the middle of the pack.
Okay.
Yeah, I really think the next 3 episodes will make it either go up or down. So for me, it's a 5, right in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good show. It's not bad. Like I said, it started off a little slow for me. I think the only thing that I complained about that makes it a little iffy sometimes is just the timing and the pacing. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We got 3 more episodes left, and to answer my question, my favorite character. It was kind of teetering between Gaia and Sonya, but I think Sonya definitely takes it, man. She's just an amazing character. I really hope we get to see more of her before the series is over. I really do. So yeah, that's Secret Invasion. We'll give our chocolate bunny score of the show once the final episode airs. Yeah, and yeah, we'll give our thoughts. Hopefully, Fury gets back to what he used to be.